welcome to Strip Down Sunday. My name is Reverend Ryan Alexander, and we are Soul Evolution Collaborative. So, you may be wondering, what is Soul Evolution Collaborative? So, we are a spiritual community affiliated with Centers for Spiritual Living. We are a teaching center. And that's kind of like the short answer, but all of the details about what this community is, what we're about, what we believe, all the activities and the events that we have going on, you can find at our website on soulevolutioncollaborative.org. So jump on the website, check out the stuff that we have going on. We have the O Shift Healing the Divide Summit, our second annual one coming up November 14th through the 17th. And so we're super excited about that. And you can find more information about the summit on our website, the speakers, the workshops, the panels, the new events and activities that will be surrounding that whole week-long November summit event. And so we're super excited, and we hope you are too. So jump on over to the website and you can learn more about how to register for the summit. All right, so this month we have been talking about abundance. And this week we have been talking about the reciprocal nature of the universe, or reciprocity. And over the course of our conversation this week, we've learned so much about this idea of reciprocity and how it fits in with this topic of abundance. And one thing that really came to light in our conversations was this key concept or key understanding of receptivity within this larger conversation of abundance and reciprocal natures. So that's kind of like what I would like to dive into today, just talking a little bit about receptivity and how does that play in to this whole conversation. So we know that, there's one power in this one universal mind, this spirit, beauty, nature, love, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter so much what we call it, but more about our understanding that regardless of its name, that this presence is everywhere, this power is everywhere, and there is not a place or space, including us, where this presence is not found. And so it's always creating. And because we are a part of it, that we are co-creating with this power and presence. And, kind of simply put, our thoughts and our beliefs have power, and they really outpicture in our lives in powerful ways, both individually and both collectively. We see the culmination of our thoughts and beliefs being manifested. So this power, this creative power that we have, it literally changes our lives. It gives us the ability, with pretty 100% accurate, to create the experiences of our lives. And we have the ability to experience life more fully and to participate in the joy and the beauty and the love that it has to offer. And so through our participation in the work of this universal intelligence, we begin the work of kind of peeling back the layers of who we thought we were and discovering this kind of ever expanding expression of the divine within. But like I said, there's one detail surrounding all this that I would like to explore, and it's this idea of receptivity. I think that this idea really bridges the gap between this kind of creative power and us, the little us on the individual level and the big us on this collective level. So Ernest Holmes said that divine incarnation is our inherent nature. The question, and I would assert one of the most important questions, becomes how much of this reality are we going to be able to express in our own lives? And Ernest Holmes says again, and I believe this is the key to unlocking kind of this life of passion that we talk about sometimes, this true nature of who we are. And he says, it is the nature of the universe to give us what we're able to take. I'm going to repeat that again because it's really powerful, even though it's so simple. It is the nature of the universe to give us what we are able to take. So we know that the universe is always doing its thing. There's always something going on, whether we're open or aware of it or not. And, much like gravity or electricity, like these universal principles work with regularity, whether we believe them or not, or open to them or not, or even aware of their power. Electricity is always present, whether we do anything or not. It's only when we plug in the lamp that we can really like actualize its true power and see it. And so it is kind of like with this universal power, through our connection and awareness, we can truly begin to see and experience the power of abundance, the power of truth, the power of love and peace. And so the game changer, becomes when we're open to what the universe and spirit or nature or God, whatever you want to call it, has to give. It's then that we had this front row seat to the transformative power. So it's this giving and receiving, this reciprocal nature again. Thomas Trard, who's a big New Thought powerhouse, said, "By the very terms of its being, this infinite, all-producing mind must be ready to immediately respond to all who realize their true relation to it." And so, in other words, we can only use this power to the extent that we're able and willing to receive or be open to it. There's a reciprocal nature again. So if there is any belief or thought within us, however, far removed from our awareness it may be, that we're undeserving or inadequate or not good enough, you fill in the blank with whatever it is, then the divine intelligence can't express in that area because we've closed ourselves off from receiving in those particular areas. And each of us knows our area. I have my areas. I'm sure you have your areas. And we all have desires for things in our life, for abundance and for love and for peace, like in everything, our relationships, our experiences with one another, our physical experiences. But there are cracks of doubt and fear and worry, just to name a few, that kind of serve as blocks to our receptivity. At least they have been in my own life. And then it's hard for me to fully experience or express in creative ways because I have those blocks. And that's the interesting thing about receptivity. Not only can nothing get in, but nothing can get out. It literally impacts what we receive from life and then what we bring to life. I know I have allowed my fears and anxieties and hurts and anything in between. It causes us to feel separate or removed, and it really has in the past blocked me from this true experiencing the joy and the beauty of life. And I'm sure you have had that experience too. And so when we're receptive to this power and presence, it becomes the key to really understanding and unlocking a deeper awareness of our abundance of life. And we can begin to intentionally co-create a life that we are super excited to live. So how do we break free from these thoughts and things that limit us? That's the million-dollar question. And honestly, it's through those activities that serve to increase our awareness of our connection to this divine presence, this universal presence that we've been talking about. So that looks different for everyone. Some are into meditation or contemplation or music or art or walking in nature. Or, for me, I feel the most connected, zooming around on two wheels. Any thought or activity that serves to deepen our awareness of our connection really aids in increasing our openness and receptivity to the activity of the universe. Just understanding that connection, we can't help but be open when we understand that we are connected to it. And so this idea of receptivity not only works on the individual level, but the collective or group level as well. And it's through this openness and receptivity that the power of the universe, this creative power, can flow and begin to shift and move our eternal experiences in ways that support and the ways that uplift. When we are open and receptive and connected to spirit and abundance, the flow of the universe, whatever you want to call it, then we begin to fully participate in the thing itself, that power, that creative presence, that abundance. And we're able to create by design and not by default. And, we're creative beings, whether we are aware of it or not. Everything is created twice, first in thought, then in form. And so our whole life is a result of this, not only on an individual level, but, the collective level. The more we're aware of our thoughts and our beliefs and the direction of our energies, the more we can consciously use this power to create amazing things in our life, in our communities, in our world. We can live in such a way that we eagerly anticipate each day as an opportunity to step into a more expansive understanding of ourselves. And I believe the words of Troward speak to the essence of what this amazing power and presence does. And he says this: all nature is pervaded by an interior personableness, infinite in its potentialities of intelligence, responsiveness, and power of expression, and only waiting to be called into activity by our recognition of it. By the terms of its nature, it can respond to us only as we recognize it. And so that becomes our invitation in this conversation of abundance and reciprocal nature and receptivity, to be willing to consciously choose to be open and receptive to life, to the power and presence that always says yes in response to our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions. And this can be really scary, especially in times of uncertainty and challenge. But, through understanding that this power and presence is not separate from us, but instead seeks to express through us, we can stand in our power knowing that this presence is always for us, always seeking the good, but can only do so to the extent that we accept it and allow it and are open to it. And so our homework this week is to take a peek at those areas where we have developed resistance, to bring those areas to the light, and to slowly release our grip and the illusion of control, and freely and willingly choose to allow the universe to do its dance through us. And we know that when we do that, it's a truly amazing ride. And so we can begin to experience abundance, not the little a abundance like the dollars and cents and material things, but the big A abundance, which for me is like that connection, that understanding, that awareness, of the just the expansiveness of the universe, and that I am connected to it, that you are connected to it. And when we begin to understand that, then it really invites us to step in more and more to receive that. Like we talked about this week, this reciprocal nature, the giving and receiving. It's not just receiving and it's not just giving. If you do that, it's just like this closed loop and we don't go anywhere. But to understand the nature, the flow of everything that we see is built on this fundamental understanding of reciprocal nature. And like the cousin to reciprocal nature is this receptivity. And so when we can step more into an understanding of the ebb and flow of life, the in-breath and the out-breath, and that we're able to receive that, and we're able to open ourselves up to that, then we will begin to create not only in our own experiences, but in the experiences of our neighbors, the experiences of our communities, the experiences of this world. The actualization of this principle of abundance, this actualization of our connection to all that is, that we are not separate from ourselves, from each other, and to very life itself. And so this week, I invite you to explore those areas where maybe we've closed down our receptivity and begin to open ourselves up. You never know what may happen next.